Hey again, as if I don't have enough projects that need to be done, here's another one. I picked this thing up for 50 bucks. It's a wood splitter, and it tilts. You know, you can run it vertical or you can flip it down horizontal. She's used. We're missing a few parts. We're missing the ram, we're missing a wedge, and we're missing the control valve. But that can all be replaced. And the engine, I don't know. The guy I got it from, he doesn't know if it runs either. I got this from the local junk man. It's not seized up. That's a bonus. All right. Hey, the oil's clear. That's another bonus, and it's right on the full mark. If this thing runs, I'll wind up changing the oil in it anyway, giving the new spark plug, air filter, the whole works and caboodle. It's got a pump on it, pumps down below, but I can't just go firing this thing up. I don't know if it has any fluid in it, and if it does have fluid, it's going to start. It's going to deadhead right there. Actually, it's capped off. We don't want to deadhead the pump, so this is the return line. All right, well, let's see what we can do. Junkman says he has a ram for this thing in the junkyard. So I gotta hook back up with him and see about getting that. That would be kind of cool. I don't know where he picked this thing up at, with all the junk that gets dropped off of him. Who knows? I'd take him junk too. Well, let's see if we got any fluid in there, which, yeah, well, there's fluid on a dipstick, that's promising. But what we got to do is uncap this and stick this in there. So it's going to draw it out of the bottom of the tank, pump through the pump, discharge out this line and right back in the tank. We have a hydraulic loop now, we have a circuit. With any luck, this thing runs. Rope, got a little bit of a gas leak going here. Just noticed that when I had it sitting over here before I moved it a little bit. We're drizzling from carburetor. Yeah, it could just be the inlet line, the inlet gas line here. There's a fuel filter. Could just be that rotted off, something like that. Watch her on the tip of that spark plug. When it's touching the motor, we should have a nice spark. That plug is clean as a whistle. Oh yeah, we got spark. Look at that. All right, so we know we got fire. If we didn't have fire, there'd be no point frigging around with a carburetor, frigging around with anything, just to find out then that the magneto is bad and you got to put a bunch of time and money into this thing. Okay. So we know we got that. Gonna get torn into this, get in behind to see what we got going on. You can see the problem. That gas dripping right here. The primer button is removed. When I push in the primer button, this gasket right here at the top of the bowl, I can see gas getting pushed out through. So I know that that's bad. If that's the only problem, well, there we go. This carburetor could just be plugged up. So I guess I'll get that off. Fuel filters right there. Obviously we got gas going through it. If I get this thing running, then I'll change it and whatnot. That could be the entire problem right there. Which we already know the bowl gasket is bad. Just gonna knock some of this geeb and crap off before I take it apart. Then there's less junk to possibly fall inside of it. Here's what's in the bowl of the carburetor. Try to get the light is right. Look at all that crap. Yep, there's your first indication right there. float is still in. I haven't popped that yet. See that? That ain't supposed to be there. There's all kinds of crap in this carburetor. I'll show you when I pull the float out in just a second. Maybe. She's in there. This pin right here. You should be able to just basically grab it with your fingers and pull it right out and take your float out. I had a pair of needle nose on it and I couldn't get a hold of it and pull it out. There's just so much crap. Look at this. Let me get some bigger pliers. Here we go. It's coming. It's coming. We got it. Now we can get the float out. We don't want to lose that little valve that's hanging on the float. Look at that crap in there. Yeah, check that out. Probably why it's not running. So maybe with any luck, if I clean this thing out real good with carb cleaner, get all the jets cleaned out, and get everything back together correctly, get a new seal in it, which this seal might be okay. Once I clean it up, it might reseal. Clean it all up, put it back together, it might run. We'll see. Got carburetor cleaner. Wear safety glasses, wear something on your freaking eyes because you don't want this bouncing back or coming out through a port. Like you squirt up through this port and don't realize it's going to come shooting out through another port right back in your face. For example, there's a hole right here in the bottom. I'm going to stick my tube up in and watch where everything comes out. It's blowing out there. It's blowing out here. So here and here. So if you happen to be having this facing your eyes or this facing your eyes thinking, oh, this will be fine, it goes right around the circle and comes right back and takes you square in the eyes. You ain't going to like it. Here's our float and our needle valve. Look at the crap on that. The best for last. See how much crap comes out of here. It is thick in there. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is the crap from the carburetor bowl. Looks a little better, don't it? Well, I'm going to put it all back together. Put it back on the machine and just see what happens. That stuff sure would do wonders up in a carburetor, wouldn't it? Well, let's try this again. Put a little bit of fuel in it. And see if we get drippies or something happens or doesn't happen. Give her a shot of ether, just see if it fires it. I think it did something. Okay, it's trying to fire the ether. Alright, that's a start. There should be plenty of gas in it. It's firing the ether every time. I give it a squirt of ether, it fires, it runs for a second. But we're not picking up the fuel. Feels like the primer bulb. You should feel the fuel in the primer bulb, but it doesn't feel like that's doing anything. Just wondering if we'll get some leakage out of the bowl here. We should. Okay. We have no leakage out of the bowl. We're not getting fuel in the carburetor. Well, why is that? Apparently the needle valve is stuck up, closing. Closing it off. If we can get fuel, theoretically, it'll run. Alright, I've confirmed we have fuel to the carburetor. I did that by loosening up the fuel line clamp, pulling the fuel line off a little bit, and I got fuel dripping. So, we noticed no problems with that. So for some reason, this float valve is sticking up. I'm gonna get a freaking mess here in a minute. Nope. It's down. Well, if it's down, it's open. This should be full of fuel, and it's not. Oh, I blew that out with carb cleaner. Well, that is the problem. Now it's going to figure out why that's the problem. No, we seem to be obstructed. Must have been something that got through the gas line when I put it back together. Because when I did it over there in the tray, in the drain pan, we were good. Well, we have an occlusion. So we should have seen a jet come squirting down through here, and we don't. Yep, it was occluded all right. That hole right there. Here's the fuel inlet. That's where the needle valve goes, up in there. And what happened, apparently there was enough of a port before the fuel got down through it. But this little piece of rubber right here, another chunk there, and the rest of it's all disintegrated. That is a seal that goes up in that hole that the needle valve seals to. So when the bowl fills up and the float goes up and the needle valve goes up, it seals to that rubber to close off the fuel. It disintegrated and plugged the hole up. Now they got it all out of there. We got flow. Removed the old hydraulic filter, poured it out, and it was quite a bit full of water. Yeah, gross. So I got a new one here. I'm gonna drain the tank out too. I'm not just gonna dump in new hydraulic fluid in there. Nope. Get drained out, cleaned out, make sure the lines are all cleaned out, all that good stuff. Yep, should be happy when I get her back together. We got an O-ring in there. It's not the correct one by any means. It might work, it might not. I got it back together. Give it a shot. Nope, she's gonna be a no-go. That is gross. Well, I get all the rest of the nasty fluid out of the thing. I discovered the table comes off, the track comes off pretty easy. That doesn't weigh much. Just set it over there. And I get the thing angled this way and was able to suck the rest of the mess out with this pretty well useless suction pump. So the tank is empty. There's a low spot in the line here. So I should get fluid that drips out of here when I disconnect this. That's what I want. All right, let me get that wrench on there now. I want to get every bit of the old fluid and crap out of this thing that I can. Ain't that some nasty looking crap? I saw water come out of it too. I've been blowing on this end, which this hose is only, what, 3 feet long. But let's see if I can get the hose connected back in here. At least they put a hole in here. That's helpful. I'm just going to keep rotating it, get it lined up just right. Eventually, it'll start and thread itself into that fitting. All right, it's going. It's going. So you can see what I gotta do. I can't just spin it down here with a wrench, because this entire line wants to spin. So I gotta do two things at once here. Yee. There. My lines are clear. Pump is as empty as we can get it. Tank is empty. Good start. Kind of a bummer I can't use this carburetor. Trying to find parts anymore is just about freaking impossible. So anyway, I guess we'll wrap this one here and we'll do another part of continuing on, building a wedge, getting a ram control. We're gonna get this thing up and running. We'll see ya.